What is up, everyone? You know what time it is. My name is KG and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you guys on the subject lack of good role models, a big cause of social ills. Sometimes people struggle to maintain certain things or do certain things because of poor role modeling from home. For example, a significant amount of marriages that survive till death do them apart do so because either one or both partners grew up in a household where their own parents stayed together through thick and thin, and they saw true love being demonstrated. Even though growing up in a particular environment does not guarantee that the person will mimic the environment of their upbringing, I honestly think that the chances are higher for people to do what their parents or guardians did when they too grow up. I know a lot of people, myself included, who have repeated the same mistakes as their parents. While I do believe in generational curses, which are obviously breakable, but some of the cycles become generational simply because kids will very likely act the same way as the person they consider to be authoritative in their lives. I think it's a subconscious thing that we don't even think about or do consciously. This is obviously not a generalization because there are always exceptions, but I really think what I'm suggesting is true in most cases. Most abusers were abused themselves. Most bullies were bullied themselves. If a boy continually sees their mother being physically abused by their father, that behavior becomes an unconscious imprint in their minds. So whenever they come across a similar situation in the future, they will handle the situation according to what they observed at home. For example, a young boy may come into conflict with a girl at school, and because they think such conflict is handled by violence as they saw at home, they will most likely act abusively towards that girl. This does not obviously condone any form of ill behavior, but rather it exposes some of the fundamental causes of those behaviors. Regardless of your upbringing, hurting others is obviously not an excuse. There's no excuse for that. It takes someone with a strong personal will and a great sense of awareness to carve out their own path, one they have never seen being modeled or demonstrated before. Usually this can be achieved by adopting a role model outside of your home. For example, in most cases where fathers are absent in their lives, boys often look outside for a father figure. Unfortunately, in most cases, the father figure they find or choose are not good role models. Some find criminals to be their role models who take advantage of their vulnerability and their need for validation. That is how young boys become gangsters or adopt a certain rebellious lifestyle. In other words, because they adopted the wrong role model, they are now acting like that person they consider to be their senior or their role model. It is because it is inherent for us to act like whoever we look up to, whether they are considered to be good or bad. It doesn't matter to us. For as long as we see that person as a model or a role model in our lives, we tend to act the way they do. Conversely, finding a good role model and adopting their social conduct will very likely produce a more responsible adult. Now, going back to the issue of marriage, one of the reasons why most marriages fail is because there are not enough role models as it relates to the institution of marriage. The statistics for broken homes, single parents, and absent fathers are staggering. So then, many men don't know how to be husbands, and most women don't know how to be wives because these roles were never really modeled to them. In other words, they do not have a solid frame of reference. Just like any widespread or recurring problem, the issue of failed marriages can only be addressed by addressing the root cause or the root causes, one of which is what I'm suggesting. Obviously, not everyone aspires to get married, and there is nothing wrong with that. But for those who do aspire to get married, but were never exposed to good marriage modeling at home, I suggest you learn from a couple you really respect, who have shown extraordinary commitment to their marriage and have made it work over a number of considerable years. You do not need to know them personally, though it would be ideal if you do. Learn from this couple as much as you can. You obviously also need to have found a partner that wants the same thing and who is willing to walk this journey with you. That's pretty much what I have for you guys for today. Thanks again for watching. Hope you gained something meaningful or useful out of this episode. I'm out.